So we had a really good question at the conference earlier on about the impact of the work that we do as academics, and whether it has an impact, whether we are a force for good. And I think we've got to be self-aware, we've got to be self-critical really about that role. Certainly I've done a certain amount of training of judges, politicians, police, all over, in my case the former Soviet Union, because that's my sort of geographical area. And I've jokingly said to people, I've brought democracy to, insert country here, but you have to be careful about it. We can be complicit in a form of sort of neo-colonial enterprise if you're not very, very careful. But on the other hand, what's the point of doing research if you don't influence the real world? And certainly some of my research, some of the stuff I've done on refugee law, actually, it's been taken up by some of the biggest, or the most senior courts, should I say, in the UK, up to and including the House of Lords, as it was, the Court of Appeal, and quite recently a High Court case in which the Home Secretary Theresa May was found to have, in legal terms, acted irrationally. And I must say, having sort of helped the court come to that conclusion, it's got to be something of a high point in my career.
We have a problem when we teach African politics in a European university, that a lot of European students are brought up with the idea that Africa is in need of help, and often that's actually about competent Europeans going in and helping, and with the best intentions, but actually it propagates a kind of separation between the idea of Europe as a tidy, rational, rule-based place and Africa as chaotic. And I don't think that's true, and I don't think it's helpful. And so a lot of what I do when I'm teaching is to think about how I get my students to realise the limitations of what they can understand and what they can offer. So they're not going to rush off and try and get a job with Oxfam and save Africa. Doesn't mean that they shouldn't go and work for Oxfam, but it just means that they should be a lot more modest and a lot more thoughtful about how they engage with the problems out there.
The impact is very important, I think. The way I see the impact is of my work personally is through my students, the way they go and work in the field, and they come out from the studies inspired in the field and with a good quality knowledge about the international law and how it applies in different situations, as well as my own sort of impact of my work in the world there, being cited in international organizations, in documents, in the research, as well as taken on board by the states through their work in domestic sphere of different states. So, thank you.